My fiancé, 28M, doesn't understand why I, 28F, don't want him telling people our baby plans. So me and my fiancé have been together for over 12 years now. We were planning to get married last year but had to postpone a year due to COVID. We had been planning to try for a baby after the wedding, and even when the wedding had to be postponed, we talked about doing it anyway, but because fathers aren't allowed at many appointments and have limited time on the postnatal ward, we decided to postpone trying for a baby as well. I say we decided, I basically agreed not to because my fiancé didn't want to, even though I really do want to. I had told my sisters when we were talking about possibly trying for a baby, and one of my sisters accidentally mentioned it in a WhatsApp group that a mutual friend, 28F, was in. Now this friend is really more like a frenemy, but I won't get into that on this post. When the mistake was realized, my sisters played it off as a joke. I told my fiancé about it, and I think I was clear that I wasn't keen on her knowing about plans. Fast forward a few months and this friend told my fiancé that she's pregnant and subtly asks him about our plans. He told her that we had planned to delay trying for now even though Op really wants a baby. When I found out that he'd told her, I was pretty upset about it, and I told him as much. He said he didn't see the big deal. Told him that I've never liked people knowing when I have big plans and aims until after I've done them, because otherwise it makes me feel judged and pressured even when that's not the case. It's always been a thing for me and he knows it. If I'm taking an exam for my medical career, I won't tell people about it until after I found out I've passed. He essentially said that's my problem that I should sort out with therapy, and he would not acknowledge that he shouldn't have said it. We've kind of settled on an agreement that he won't tell anyone else, even though he says he doesn't understand why not. Am I being over the top here? It just feels to me that it was a boundary that he'd known I'd set, so even if he didn't know why, he should have stuck to it. For me it's not a difficult thing, and it's not that uncommon for people not to want others to know their baby plans. Too long didn't read. Fiancé told a friend about our plans to delay trying for a baby even though I'd made it clear I didn't want that friend to be told anything about our plans. He doesn't see what the big deal is and thinks he did nothing wrong. Am I being over the top? Edit with update. He has since apologized. He had truly thought that I was just trying to find a way to be annoyed at him because I was upset about the frenemy being pregnant, while I'm not. After talking to him again, he has realized that this is what I was upset about. I've blocked the frenemy from contacting me on most platforms, but because she's married to someone in the friendship group, I'm not able to get away from her entirely. Me and my fiancé have also decided to rediscuss it decision to hold off trying in a week or two. So it's a overall good outcome. Thank you everyone for your advice. Personally, far less concerning than him telling your friend his plan is he told your friend that you aren't fully on board with it. That's the part that I would be furious about. 1. Cut the frenemy out. Seriously, you are too old to pretend to like someone you don't just for the sake of appearances. 2. Join the waiting to try group on Reddit. I found it very therapeutic when I was on the proverbial bench. 3. Understand that trying for a baby isn't like ordering a pizza. As many as 1/3 of women experience fertility struggles or miscarriage. Some women try for years before a pregnancy takes. You think you feel pressure now? I worry what will happen if you fall into that 1/3. I did. Really sucked. 4. He's not wrong about therapy to work on why you feel so competitive with people who probably don't spend nearly as much mental energy on you as you do on them. 5. But you're right, too. Dude needs to keep marriage matters in the marriage. While on that subject, he should drop the frenemy too, if only to make your life easier. Why is your fiancé telling deeply personal stuff to a woman you don't like or trust? Sounds like you two need to work on communication, boundaries and respect in your relationship before adding the stress of child rearing, which requires so much teamwork and healthy communication. While he may not have gotten the hint from your conversation about the text, I'm confused why he still doesn't understand your general nature of wanting to hold things close to the vest. If that's a fundamental part of your personality and you've since explained more clearly why you prefer to keep your family planning private, a very reasonable and common decision given the prevalence of miscarriages and difficulty conceiving many women experience, why is he minimizing your feelings and suggesting you need therapy? It's completely rude and condescending, especially coming from someone you think is mature enough for fatherhood. You say that you think he understood that you weren't keen on her knowing your plans, not that you 100% specifically asked he make sure no one and especially her not be told about your baby plans. Technically these are also his plans, since this entire thing includes him, so yes, you are being a little oversensitive here. First off, you don't get to dictate what he tells people about his life. Postponement of a baby is not just about you. Second, based on your own words, it sounds like he had no idea that him casually mentioning this would actually be a problem. It's information that's out there now, so just chill and let it go. There's too much going on in the world to hold on to petty things. Just drop it and in the future, communicate clearly when you want to keep something super private. I think my partner's mom stole my medication. I really wish I didn't have to write this, but here we go. I think my partner's mom stole some of my ADHD medication, 20 capsules worth. I'm not going to get into the details of everything, but here is some important background information. Over a year ago my partner and his family became concerned about his mom's use of prescription drugs, Vyvanse, Adderall, etc. My partner and another family member sat her down and expressed their concerns based on the behavior they had been observing, her mood, health, etc. My partner's mom got very defensive, denied misusing her medication, and refused to get help. She basically made everyone feel terrible/crazy for even thinking she had a problem and would bring it up often. Fast forward to today. My partner's mom and siblings came over for dinner. We opened presents, ate dinner and had an overall lovely time. Halfway through the visit I realize I left my medication in a basket under the coffee table. Big mistake on my part, I know. Because we were all sitting and eating in the living room, I wasn't able to move it without everyone seeing what I was doing and it upsetting my partner's mom. I even felt guilty for thinking it was going to be a problem at the time. After they left I had this feeling that I should check the medication. This was a 100 capsule bottle that I got filled 12 days ago and I only started using 3 days ago. The bottle had a noticeable amount missing, so I counted it out and there was 77 left. I told my partner and we are trying to figure out what to do next. We don't have proof it was his mom, but based on everything that's happened over the past year, we have reason to believe it was her. I'm so mad at myself for leaving my medication out, and I'm mad at my partner's mom for putting us in this situation. I tried posting this in another subreddit and most people suggested making a police report or threatening her with a police report, but that seems too harsh. Just wondering how to approach this with her and have a conversation about it and hopefully get my medication back. Has anyone experienced something similar and how did you handle it? Too long didn't read. I think my partner's mom stole my ADHD medication and don't know what to do next. I saw you ask in your other post if you should talk to her or if your partner should. I think you and your partner could talk to her together and explain why it's so important that you have your medication and how you will struggle without them. Then it could be more about you and less about her and how messed up it was that she took them, and she might be more likely to immediately go on the defense. And if there's even a point in going through the whole who could have took them routine with her, it's obvious it was her and might be good just to begin the conversation with that already assumed. There also clearly needs to be a conversation about the severity of her addiction, but I don't see why you should need to be a part of that. It seems more appropriate to leave that to your partner and the rest of his family. You and your partner will probably have to discuss together what boundaries you will need to have in place with her going forward, and how to enforce them. I don't think you would be in the wrong to not want her in your home anymore. Overall though, it's an incredibly tough and thorny situation and will likely only get uglier as her addiction is brought into the light, so if it's an option for you it might be wise to consider family therapy for some or all of you. Why is this tagged updates? This is the same as the last Posey. Whoops, sorry about that, fixed it. I wish I had an update, but sadly I don't. My partner has some very important work meetings happening this week, so he wants to wait a few days before addressing his mom. But I fear that conversation is never going to happen if we continue to wait. Plus, the longer we wait, the chances of me getting my meds back goes way down, and the guilt of something happening to his mom is going to eat me alive. I've had my sil break into my house, with her children, and steal my ADHD meds and pain meds from my C-section. I've had my sister steal them while babysitting. I've had my Bill steal them while over for dinner. They now literally are in a locked lockbox, in a drawer, under the bed with the key in a completely random spot. I wish I had any advice as what to do. I just sucked it up and got cameras and wised up after 3 times. Don't be like me. If it were me, I would just lay out the facts. Have your partner invite them all back over, if possible, and then say, 3 days ago, I started a newly filled bottle of prescription meds. Today, there are 20 pills missing from the bottle. You are the only people who have been in our home since I opened this bottle. One of you can tell us who has the pills. If we don't get the truth, we will unfortunately have to call the police. Talking to them all at the same time takes some of the pressure off you, as I assume the others will all suspect the same person. This part of the discussion may turn out to be the least important. Whoever stole your meds obviously has a problem that needs to be addressed. Good luck. She's an addict, persevering face. It's not a police matter. You gently, empathetically lay down the facts, including how it made you feel. It is up to you, as family, to acknowledge her illness. It is up to her to fix it. You need to establish clear boundaries and let her know you are there to offer love no matter what, and support in her recovery if/when she decides to pursue it. Good luck and read up on addiction. It will take her over in many ways and it is unattractive, but you must have understanding and empathy, and those boundaries. Don't just tell her how it made you feel. Outline all repercussions for you, health-wise, financial, and the toll this will undoubtedly have on your marriage. Oh God, this one has got me. What an awful situation. Some may not think it's a police matter, but if she needed to get a refill from the doctor due to stolen meds, then they would want a police report. I, 34F, am in a mess with my distant cousin coworker, 30SM. Because our partners cheated on us with each other and he thinks my partner is worse than his. This is such a train wreck of a situation. Players. / my boyfriend, been with him for 5 years. / my cousin, distant cousin, who also works for the same company as me, not same department however. / cousin's girlfriend who he's been with for 4 years. I won't get into all the backstory, but basically 2 years ago my boyfriend and my cousin's girlfriend had a brief affair. My boyfriend and I were going through a very rough patch in our relationship, and honestly weren't even sure we would stay together at the time. Still no excuse for acting this way however. My cousin and his girlfriend were also having difficulties and she was in a depression at the time. My cousin found out, because she left her iPad unlocked one day, and told me about it. That began a huge war. I was enraged and moved out. My cousin also moved out. My cousin harassed my ex-boyfriend all the time. Police were involved, etc. etc. Anyway, that was 2 years ago. After a lot of fighting and therapy etc., I moved back with my boyfriend. My cousin moved back with his girlfriend after only about 2 weeks. My boyfriend has zero to do with my cousin or his girlfriend anymore, of course. I have nothing to do with my cousin's girlfriend, but my cousin will randomly contact me, to wish me Happy New Year. He then, as always, starts telling me my boyfriend is terrible and I should not be with him anymore. He feels my boyfriend instigated everything and lied a lot to get my cousin's girlfriend to sleep with him when she was vulnerable, depressed. I agree my boyfriend lied, but so did she. As far as I'm concerned, they both sucked in this situation. I don't believe my boyfriend took advantage of her. I think she was more than willing to participate in this, and depression doesn't excuse anything. I usually don't say much to my cousin, but last week I finally told him things about his girlfriend that helped to cut off his insistence that she's more innocent. Told him things that my boyfriend has told me, proving that she's just as conniving and devious and my cousin is being willfully blind. So in the end, I laid it out for him, he forgave her and decided to stay with her even though she's a lying, cheating, devious woman who had no qualms about having sex with someone associated with his family. Fine. But at least call it like it is and stop pretending that's not what she is. I said I'd respect his decision if he respects mine. He got incredibly upset with me and I just found out he actually moved out on Friday and told all our relatives about what happened between his girlfriend and my partner. Nobody fully knew, as though it just happened, and now everyone is calling me all upset that I'm still with my partner. How can I navigate this? We've been trying to heal for 2 years and now everyone hates my boyfriend, and everyone is calling me offering me a place to stay, etc. I feel so awful. Was I wrong to say that to my cousin? Too long didn't read. My cousin kept insisting his girlfriend was the victim when both she and my partner had an affair. I called him on it and told him she's no saint. He left her and now my relatives want me to leave my boyfriend too. 2 years after that affair,